going on, A pluses, nerd mixes? It is your boy, Indy Uchiha, and boy, do we have one here for you today, because I'm reviewing the first two episodes of X-Men 97, which might be the best Marvel drop since Loki. That's right. Everything else don't matter, because this is the true essence of Marvel, the true essence of X-Men. None of the live action movies, none of the Wolverine things. Let's forget about Hugh Jackman. Let's talk about my man Scott Summers, Cyclops, and these X-Men, which the show is amazing, brings back so many memories, nostalgia, you know what I'm saying, from back in the day. From the fact that they kept the original theme for the opening to the fact that they brought back the original voice actors from the previous show. Amazing. And they just pick off, they don't do nothing. They don't try to tell an origin story or nothing like that. They just pick up right where the last one left off. And I find that amazing. Don't you know? Like, which you don't have to go watch I recommend going to watch the old X-Men series because it's amazing, but you don't have to. That's the amazing thing about this. You can follow right along for what it does right now. The first episode, they're dealing with the death of Professor Xavier, which, if I do believe in the last episode of the original series, he ends up being taken to the Shi'ar Empire. So I don't know if it's something where he's going to come back or not. I think he will, but you're dealing with the backlash of him not being there, and Cyclops trying to lead the X-Men. Jean's pregnant. You get the same attitude from Wolverine and Gambit. You got Gambit and Rogue, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing. Beast is amazing, and the first episode revolves around who I believe is going to be Sunspot. I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, guys, put it in the comments, let me know. And him being introduced in a similar way to what Jubilee was, and you get into see Jubilee trying to, you know, let him know what the X-Men did for her and how this whole thing created her family. I do find it kind of ironic that this guy in this world where mutants are hated on, where they're trying to get equal rights and all that stuff, has no idea who the X-Men are, really. It's just, I don't know about that, but rich kid, privileged, whatever. The episode goes off with a hitch. We get some amazing action moments with the X-Men coming together to cut down some Sentinels, getting after Trisk and stuff like that, taking down another Master Mode. All in one episode, by the way, which was really, really cool. The combination of Gambit charging up Wolverine's claws, and then Morph, you know what I'm saying, turning into Blob, and Wolverine bouncing off his stomach and launching himself at Master Mode and blowing his head off. Another highlight was Beast jumping into a Sentinel, rewiring it, taking it over, and using the Sentinel to beat up the other Sentinels. I mean, it was a lot of good stuff. The highlight of this episode to me was the Sentinels blowing up the jet, right? All the X-Men flying down, Rogue saving who she could save, and Cyclops just free falling. Nobody goes over trying to say Cyclops, because this dude has the best superhero landing I have ever seen in my life. Like, bro, it's just amazing. Turns his optic blast on full blast, powers himself down so he slows down real quick, hits the superhero landing, then looks up. The camera kind of like pans away, then comes in close to him so you can see what's going on in the background and see the other X-Men forming, but you just see that man's mouth. To me, my X-Men. Bro, I melted at that particular moment when that happened, bruv. I'm just telling you, it was off the chain, dude. I'm loving this show already. To get into the second episode is dealing with the last will and testament of Professor Xavier. The first episode was so good, it felt like it went by so quick. So when it got into the second one, I'm getting kind of antsy, because I'm like, I'm not gonna get another till next week. It's only gonna be one episode, so I'm freaking out a little bit, right? Bring in the master of magnetism, Magneto, bro. From the voice acting to how he just seamlessly came in, the way Scott, you know what I'm saying, was just not dealing with this dude at all. And how the team felt about him. But Professor Xavier left all his money, his school, everything to Magneto. And in turn, because Magneto was such a friend, you know what I'm saying, understand who Charles was, decided to take his ideology up, you know, especially since Magneto's own failed, the X-Men stopped him, to take it up, to give what his friend wanted a chance in honor and like memory of Charles Xavier. So I thought that was cool, and the X-Men having to deal with that a little bit. But the government, the UN comes and they come after Magneto to put him on trial. And then you got the mutant haters, which I love the fact that they kept the whole aspect of mutants being hated and all the real world aspect that was put into the X-Men, because, you know, to me they are a civil rights team, and they left that all in there, man. To see people coming after the mutants, trying to kill them, is somebody kidnapping, they're kidnapping mutants and selling them to somebody, which I believe is Mr. Sinister. Talk a little bit more about that in a second. So they're having like a trial for Magneto. Magneto gives this amazing soliloquy about the way you guys feel that I treated you were the same way you treated us. You know what I'm saying? So why wouldn't you expect the same treatment back? You had the protesters breaking in, all coming to try to kill Magneto, and the members on the board that actually gave Magneto a trial instead of sending him to death or jail or whatever. They're upset about that. Amazing again fight scene when Cyclops came around and he shot his laser at the ground to build the wall up to keep them out. That was really cool. At the same time, Jean Grey is pregnant. The episode deals a lot of if Cyclops and Jean are going to leave, and who is going to be in charge of the X-Men. So it leaves Magneto in charge of the X-Men, so he has to basically earn their trust. And in this one episode, because the episodes wrap up nice and tight, that's what I like about it. They're not dragging stuff on. They're getting from point to point. It wraps up and he ends up earning, you know what I'm saying, Scott's and the X-Men's trust, but at the loss of Storm and her powers, who ends up leaving, you know what I'm saying, later. And they kind of foreshadowed it in the episode, because Storm was talking about how sometimes she feels she used to feel in the past if she could be human, if she could be normal, because Jean's struggling on if she wants to bring into a mutant child into the, you know what I'm saying, into this world, or would she rather her child have no power so he doesn't have to deal with the persecution and everything that goes on with being a mutant. So it's very understandable how she feels about that. I mean, they're dealing with real deep issues, but still keeping it entertaining, you know what I'm saying? But the stuff that they're talking about, they actually really deal with. Magneto ends up, like I said, protecting everybody, doesn't even kill the bad guy, you know what I'm saying, who wanted to, but didn't. The whole thing when he took them out of space and looked down at the world, I'm like, this is what I remember. This is Charles' view of the world. I'm coming up here to remind myself to try to do things his way. So they pardon him of all his actions and stuff, and then they invite Genosha to be a part of the UN. So Scott believes he can leave, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So it's gonna be interesting to see what goes on with these episodes. The love triangle between Magneto, Rogue, and Gambit. Because Magneto can put like the electromagnetic thing over himself to protect himself from Rogue's touch, so she can actually be touched, because you know she's always wanted the feeling of having somebody, you know what I'm saying, touch her and feel it without having her stuff zapped. It was cool, point out the highlight for Rogue, because she had to fly Cyclops to the hospital because Jean was having a baby. The doctor was kind of racist and didn't want to give birth, didn't want to do the procedure for a mother giving birth to a mutant child because she was a mutant, so he didn't want to do it. So Rogue touched him, took all his knowledge, and she was the one who birthed the child, you know what I'm saying, who helped him through the thing. So that was cool. And then at the end, when baby's born, seems like it's going to be a cool ending. Everybody's happy. Magneto earned a little bit of trust back, and they hear a knock at the door, and Morph is like, maybe a Storm, maybe she came back already, you know, just realized that she didn't want to be away from family. It's Jean Grey at the door. So I think that's what more makes me think that Mr. Sinister is going to be the big bad for at least half the season or the season, because I believe that if that baby was Nathan Charles Summers, so I think that's the baby that becomes Cable. But I think they're going with the Scott had the baby with the clone. Jean comes back after being a Phoenix thing, and then with that whole storyline and everything. We all know Mr. Sinister was always after Scott and Jean's DNA to try to make the perfect mutant and type thing. So this is dope. I can't wait till next week. You guys let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, people. We're back, baby. We finally got something that I want to review. More reviews coming on movies and different stuff like that. Stay tuned. X-Men 97. What did you guys think? Are you happy? Is Marvel back? You guys, let me know. And always, keep it A+. This has been a Nerd Mix. Indy out.